As we all know, out of everyone in Arvala, I am by far the most obsessed player, always trying to break the rules and just generally being unemployed. However, Savant had recently announced that he will no longer be working on Arvala and that the server will rarely be on or maybe even shut down, which I was severely against because I don't have any other place to content farm, right? And let's say, yeah, there is. But Arvala's so peak, I just had to go ask Savant why he would do something so utterly stupid. Just for people who were waiting for it, that conversation never came. I instead logged onto his building world and made a $10 bet that if I could beat the Ender Dragon within 4 hours, he would give me 10 bucks. And what do you know? I managed to do it, but unfortunately for me, turns out Savants did not have those 10 bucks, so I asked for a set of netherite instead. But even though I was happy about the set of netherite, there was something I had to do, so I mainly hung out with Savant until he left so that I could do some stuff unsupervised. What I wanted to do was to see if there was a world out there past Servala, but then Peter and Nether logged on while I was AFKing, and after realizing, I had a pretty nice conversation with this guy. This was really nice because nobody apart from me has been playing on Arvala since the past 1 or 2 weeks, and seeing another player was really refreshing. I snuck some armor trims and materials to fight a wither from the nether, so I asked him if he'd like to fight it with me, and we made some plans to just enjoy ourselves on Arvala. I also gave him coordinates to a place where I stashed away some hidden potions in case he wanted those too. After all, there wasn't exactly anyone left to moderate us, but there's also no one to play with either, so what's the point, right? At the end, I decided to just give up and go pick up Peter and Other because I didn't think there was any points. But all of a sudden... Never mind. As I was editing this footage, it turns out it was just a falling piston I mined earlier. Although there was nothing productive about it, I decided to just stop trying to find the end of the world, and instead I just went over to pick up Peter and Other and, see what's gonna happen. Never fucking mind. The only other player on Arvala just dipped on me. And when he said tomorrow, he never showed up. Since I can't run Arvala by myself, I had to go to Savant and ask him if he could run it for me, and he logged on to hang out with me a little more again. I also figured this would be the great opportunity to ask him if he would allow me to spawn a wither. And, to my surprise, he actually agreed. Under the condition that we blow up TV's build in the process. Sorry, TV. You can skip over this if you'd like, but here's just me fighting the entire wither. Like, it's the entire fight, so have fun with that. After that fight, I packed up my trophy and made a beacon and hung out with my goat, Void, for a while.
This is the most dangerous player in all of Minecraft, having been known for killing countless players using only their pinky finger, and also being
What
the
the
most
fuck?
talented builder.
What the hell?
And known for being the most talented builder in all of Minecraft.
I also realized I haven't told you guys what my objective was throughout this entire video. I've been trying to become the strongest player on Arvala, which, in case me attempting to make a villager breeder apart from the last clip didn't tell you that, this is just me saying it outright. As I was fishing for enchantment books, I couldn't help but wonder, why am I even doing this? What's the point? I mean, there's no one to impress, and Arvala's pretty much dead now. Even though I wanted to have this deep conversation now, I've decided to save it for later and kidnapped this mending villager that Void found in another nation. That villager is now dead. Even then, I decided to use this opportunity to explore the nation because I can't help but admit it, it's a really beautiful nation. And some people played on here, so it wouldn't really hurt me to just see what they've done. Now, this might seem like a bitch ass move for me, but I also ended up killing all of their dogs, and, yeah. And would you look at that, I also found a hidden trapdoor, or well, not really hidden, but it had a sugarcane farm in it, and they were kind of broke, so I didn't think it was worth it to stay there for that long. But they had this coupon item, and I figured, you know what? I might actually use this one day. Because maybe I'll want an item that I just can't obtain by myself, and, maybe it'll happen. That was quite the read, but, I wasn't sure what I was doing, honestly. I mean, I was returning Lilith's ghast, but I mean on Arvala, I didn't really know what I was doing. But again, for now, it just doesn't matter. All I gotta know is that it's really beautiful, and I'm willingly logging on because it's fun. That's all there is to it, right? Or at least, that was what I was hoping it would be. I mean, I'm not completely alone yet, so there's not any reason for me to worry, right? But it kind of felt like I was. Pushing our feelings aside, I decided to go back to trying to make a villager breeder because I had to max out my armor. I mean, if I didn't, would I really be able to call myself the strongest, as cringy as it was? After all, you don't get something for nothing, right? So far it was going pretty good, but then I came to the miserable conclusion that the server was so unbelievably shit that you had to get villagers from specific biomes in order to trade mending. Or you just had to, try your luck until you did get one. And we all know I am not putting in that much effort over something so unbelievably useless in life. Since I was basically on the verge of rage quitting, I figured I'm gonna just blow up a build. Or well, I was really considering it, because since nobody played on here, would anyone really care? Not really, no. But even though the opportunity was right there, I hesitated. Yeah, everyone left, and yeah, the person who built this did not like me, but I couldn't do it. Not yet, at least. Anyhow, since life as a human was amazing, I invited one of my friends, Demnia, to join me in my gameplay, and I was flying over to them with the happy ghast that, belonged to Lilith, but she doesn't play, so she wouldn't mind, surely. And you might be saying, what are you flying over? Where are you flying over? What? Let me explain. In Arvala, when you spawn, there is an admin room that you technically aren't able to get out of which basically means you have to choose a species in order to get out of it. And after that, you can never ever access that room again. However, Savant had turned me into a human a while back so that he could show me around to Arvala, and, well, I'm assuming he forgot to turn me back into a Pyroth, which, honestly, I was kind of happier that way. It was pretty fun as a human, and I preferred it over a Pyroth any day. Anyway, back on track. The way I planned on getting Demnia out of there without having to choose a species was by using the best item in all of Minecraft, the Ender Pearl. Let me explain for the ones who are slow. Basically, in the admin room, there is a block called Deny, which any block that is underneath or above it cannot be destroyed unless you are in creative mode and you have Operator. And if you go into a corner, you can just pearl through any wall. So that's exactly what I plan to do. But before anything, you had to get to the admin room in order to glitch out of the admin room to begin with, right? So I made my way over to the room, and alas, I made it. And you can't even lie, it looks pretty damn cool, especially from a distance, right? Like, it has the Colosseum, where all the fights happen, it has all the command blocks, everything. Although I did run into a small problem, which was the fact that I couldn't park my Happy Gas at any of the corners, I think I still got it, right? Right? Sadly, I only had 5 pearls on me at the time, so the way that it worked was I pearled inside, I gave her 1 pearl, and I pearled out, and honestly, I don't know what happened to the other one, let's be so real, okay? But basically, she had 1 shot to get out of there, or, it would take another while. But, like the absolute Minecraft pro she is, she managed to make it out of there without any scratches and, without fucking it up. And I figured since this is a one-time trip, we would at least take a look around, at the Colosseum, because there'd be food and pretty bad, but still some armor there that she could take while we were, on our way back. So we went and we robbed the chests, meaning any future fighters that will ever enter this Colosseum, you can suck it and take it up with me if you get a problem. I took your food, I took your armor, go cry. It's not that serious. It's not even good armor, okay? As we were exploring around, I decided to try out one of the command blocks, and I may or may not accidentally have turned myself into a Glacian, which was really dumb. And like the basic-ass loser I am, I decided to go ahead and ask Savant if he could help me out. By which I mean, oh hey Savant, I destroyed your entire admin room, and I also may or may not have turned myself into Glacian, and I also robbed your entire Colosseum, and I then broke my friend out of prison. Are you proud of me? But like the kind-hearted human being Savant is, he restarted a backup of the server for me, and I was a human again, and I invited Michus to join us on our little team. Or should I say, made choose. If you know, you know. Now, this team consisted of me, Michus, Demnia, Void. I don't know if I should count Goonlander and Savant since they are low-key each other's boyfriends and practically forgot about us as a team. But, another problem really arose, 20 seconds after I rescued Demnia from the pits of hell. You see, Demnia didn't have a set spawn point and Loki died. So I had to go and beg Savant for help because, let's be honest, I am not doing that 20-30 minute drive all over again. I'm sorry, but no, sweetie, no. Moving on, I finally got coordinates to Deep Sea Dominion, and the first reaction I had was, logically fly all the way over there because I assumed since they were so hidden away and they had fucking Prismarine, okay? They are most likely loaded. But, you just never located them. And we made it, and their builds aren't all that bad. Honestly, they're pretty good. I mean, I can't judge, because, I'm not the best. So, I went and I bribed Ravy Dizzy or whatever. I gave them some elytras and stuff, and in exchange, they just threw all their shulkers down and said, hey, if you ever need anything, take something from here, because It's not like I'll be logging on anytime soon, right? And to put it simple, I got a bunch of mending, like a bunch. But it seems as though I couldn't convince them to stay, and they just dipped, so I took their shulkers and ran off with them. It seemed like no matter what I did, I could never get the people to, like, still play on the server, and I didn't understand why. I mean, it was pretty boring though, because a while later, I just didn't do anything. And the pen pal, or well, not really pen pal, they didn't even see my message, just never logged back on. Nobody ever logged back on. It was completely dead, and I was all alone, apart from the people who I had to literally beg just so that they would play on the server with me one more time. After that, Savant gave me a bunch of upgrade templates and a bunch of netherite, so I just turned everyone's armor to netherite because I wouldn't really need it. But what's the point if they're not gonna play with me? Like, they don't need it. I don't know why I did it. And I couldn't understand why I was trying so hard to convince the people to play willingly by themselves when they all just lost interest. Like, nobody cares. And then Savant gave me Operator, and I was able to do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted, which sounded pretty fun, but it wasn't really all that fun. Like, there was no point for me to play if I just had everything I wanted, and playing in survival willingly just felt like a waste of time, because I wasn't really working for anything purely because I could just get it if I wanted to, at a whim. And I'm not saying I didn't want it. I asked for Operator, but it just felt so boring, especially because I had no one with me to play with me or to have fun with me. It was just so plain. And despite having blown up Stormhilder with meat juice, I was starting to wonder if maybe, just maybe, I should just quit Urvala. But then you remember that I didn't want to quit Urvala. Why would I be trying so hard to get the people to play again if I didn't want to play? I mean, so many people have played on here, and so many people have spent hours building the beauty of Urvala. And nobody will ever see it the way I do. Nobody will ever appreciate it the way I do. They might have appreciated it, but what I feel is immense because of how beautiful it is, and I wanted to keep playing. So, why would I quit? You can be alone, but even if you're alone, you'll always feel. And that's the beautiful part about being human. And maybe one day I'll revive Arvala. And then you can see me play with all of my friends and actually make a happy video instead of some depressing bullshit like this. I mean, it is pretty cringy. Someone's gonna have to see this, and then I'm gonna be all embarrassed about showing how I feel. And guess what? This is the part where I ask you to subscribe, and the rest of the video is just gonna be me showcasing Valoria, not Arvala. I think it's the previous season, whatever it was, but yeah, enjoy.
Good night.